If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Full House on the Road subscribers and followers. I get questions all the time from people who are out here living on the road and discover that they have a problem. Their equipment that they have is not suitable for what they need. They have some sort of environmental issue. Or I got one question from someone who says, I don't have the electric to run my refrigerator. Started out with their battery wasn't keeping charged long enough to run the refrigerator, and then they discovered that the inverter was not big enough to power the inverter, and then they realized that the generator wasn't big enough to power the refrigerator, and so they just didn't have enough electricity. They ask me these questions for a solution, so I point them to a video that I've made about my electrical system and my refrigerator and how the whole operation works, and they say, well, that doesn't work for me because I don't have that generator, I don't have XYZ, I don't have, whatever they don't have. And then I say, well, I don't have an answer for you. This is how we've set it up. And then they'll say, and it always comes to this, I don't have the money to do what you did. Another thing I'll get a lot is the weather, the temperature, the rain, the heat, the cold. Right now it's late June, early July is coming, and most of the country is boiling hot. I don't have an air conditioner. I don't have a generator that will run the air conditioner. I have to run a fan, but it's already 70 degrees outside and it's going to be 80 inside the camper, and I don't have this and I don't have that. Yep, it's a problem. It's a real problem. So I point them to a video that I've made where I say that weather has been our biggest nemesis. It has. I mean, we've been cold for the last year. And it wears on you. And so then we'll talk about protection. What do you do to protect yourself? How do you protect yourself? You'll see these questions on Facebook and different things about protection. Almost inevitably, somebody will say, well, I carry this self-protection tool, whatever that tool is. Nobody's going to mess with me. Okay, well, that's great. Every time I've been a victim of a crime, 3 times in my life, adult life. I was robbed, and they took all my protection that everybody seems to think that they're protecting, and a week later they came back and finished the job. All this protection that everybody talks about was not protecting anything. And then so we started living this lifestyle, and we live out in a national forest. Someone burns my camper down while we were gone. Again, all this protection everybody's talking about, this self-protection, didn't protect anything. All of these scenarios have to be thought out before you come out here. Getting out here and learning all this stuff, it's too late. Let's talk about not having the right equipment. Look, you need to take a test run, a good long test run. You need to do a test run in every season. You should do a test run 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, in the winter, in the fall, summer, spring, the whole deal, to experience everything that might happen. Are you prepared for the rainy season? When it's raining all the time, it's 50 degrees outside, and you turn on the heat. Now, I know a lot of people say, 50 degrees ain't bad at all. Well, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, when you're temporarily in a 50-degree zone, and it's raining, and it's miserable, temporarily, you can handle that. But I can guarantee you that when you're in your house, and it's 50 degrees, you turn on the heater. So when you come out here, your camper is your house. That's where you live. You're going to want a temperature a little warmer than 50 degrees. You turn on the heater, then the mold starts to arise because it's raining outside. Propane draws condensation, and now you have mold. Well, people will tell you, well, turn on the vent. Okay, you turn on the vent, and now rain is blowing into the camper because you have a 30-mile-an-hour wind that's overcoming any type of fan that you might be running. And so now your options are pouring in rain, blowing in rain, or this drizzle from the condensation, and then inevitably the mold will show up. It always happens, and I'm desperately allergic to mold. I take allergy medicine every day. These things you need to learn before you get out here, and then you need to determine, one, can you actually do what you need to do to overcome these obstacles, or are you willing to live with it? So that's the thing that you have to do. You have to determine this before you get out here. After you get out here, it's too late. If you don't have the equipment to run your refrigerator, it is too late. You're going to run to town every 2 to 3 days to get ice while you're all the way out here in the national forest? That's a long drive. Now your gas prices just go up. if you're worried about the temperature and you're traveling all over the country to try to get to a better climate, but you don't have the money to do it, look, all these things take money. And this illusion that you can come out here because it's cheaper is being propagated by YouTube. I mean, yeah, it's cheaper to live out here because you don't have rent, but that doesn't mean that you get away without money. You have electric in your house. You got to have electric out here. I don't care what anybody tells you. You're not going to be able to go scot-free without electric. Now, people will tell me solar panels, solar panels, solar panels. Fine. I'm not arguing with solar panels. I'm not going to argue. But I just got a comment from somebody today says I have a 500 watt generator and it doesn't run my refrigerator. Well, okay, so you're out here, you're living with a 500 watt generator. So let's just say that he replaces the generator with solar panels. He still can't run his refrigerator. The arguments that come with these kind of videos that I'm making don't always solve all the problems. And I think that's where the YouTubers out here are messing up. They'll say, okay, here's the solution to this problem, but it doesn't solve this problem. And this problem is solved by this problem. And all this takes money. It does get cold at night. I've seen videos where people will say it gets down into the 20s in Arizona in the desert. Sometimes. That means you still got to have heat. You still got to have propane. You got to be able to deal with a 20-degree temperature. I mean, if you're always having to bundle up just to be comfortable, that's not a quality of life environment. And that's what's key, is quality of life. We came out here to improve our situation, to be happier. Don't have this illusion that everything's safe out here. I've heard too many YouTubers say, oh, I've never had a problem with anybody. Well, if it's so safe, why are there so many crimes being committed out here? You see it in the news, you just Google it, you'll find crimes. Rangers having to go out shootouts with van dwellers in Colorado. Tires being flattened in Apalachicola. People having to walk miles to find help because the tire was flattened and they don't have a cell signal. Campers being burned down. So it's not as safe as what is being propagated out here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video. And happy travels.